We're back with Dan Thomas. Hi, Dan.
Hello, how are we doing?
Good, 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 good. And we're here to talk about Rocket Jump. For those folks at home, maybe you don't know what Rocket Jump is yet. How about you explain what Rocket Jump is before we get started?
Yes, so Rocket Jump Events is a series of micro games industry conferences that we have organised for the past few years. And yeah, that's certainly how they started were real world events where we arranged for some speakers. We had a sort of expo where people could show off what they're working on, networking, and yeah, they were just a great kind of, I guess, grassroots games industry community conference that we moved around. We ran one in Brighton, one in Bournemouth, a couple in Guildford, them in London, and yeah, that was kind of, I guess, the gist of them. And yeah, things have changed in recent times.
Well, that's what
So
we're here to talk about.
yeah,
2020 obviously makes things more complicated in a variety of ways, and one of those is that conferences can't really go ahead in their traditional form. Like most conferences, we've kind of turned to an online format this year and turned to YouTube basically and launched some video interviews. There are three of them. They are all now live. They went live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. We have an interview with El Osili Wood, an interview with Mu Yu, and an interview with Simon Carlos. Don't go and watch them right now because you're watching this, obviously. But after this is done, definitely go to the Etch Play YouTube channel and catch up on those. I think they're really interesting. We're going to talk about them a bit now, so we'll give you a bit of a hint about some of the stuff that's in them. Dan, obviously, you helped put this together this year, and you kind of selected, I guess, the speakers. These came from your network and your discussions with these people. Why these people?
yeah, so you say I was involved. That's very gracious of you. I said we should do this, and you did it all, Adam. So kudos to you for that. But I'm the ideas guy.
You sent some emails.
Yeah,
That's part of it.
exactly. No, it's the speaker selection. It's always an interesting process when organising these events, and it's where a lot of the value in the events for the audience are. We look to try and get a good cross section or good representation from across the industry, and there's always an interesting balance between finding people who are interesting and people who are available and willing. And obviously, it's important that we do get that decent representation. And yeah, I guess these folks were they're doing really interesting things in recent times, and it was a case of you're doing interesting things. You've clearly got some interesting insights to share, and then I just reach out and tell them about the event, offer them the opportunity to come and chat with us, and yeah, fortunately for us, these amazing folks were very receptive to that, and I'm extremely happy with the output that we got from it.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't checked these out yet, they all have different kind of subjects. They're all about the kind of the journey that person's been on. So Els is about her career as a games journalist, but also as a voice actor. Mu Yu talks about his experiences running an indie studio and also diversity in the games industry. He's part of POC and Play, which is an organisation that focuses on diversity in the games industry. And Simon Carlos, the creator of Game Discover Co. and the Game Discoverability newsletter, came to talk about game discoverability, which makes sense, and about how difficult it is to make sure your game stands out in an extremely crowded marketplace, and the ways that you have to think about that as kind of a part of what you're doing. You've obviously seen these. What are some of your
Yes.
favourite takeaways from the videos that are up there?
Yeah, so I actually just rewatched them today to refresh myself, and I mean I enjoyed. Obviously, we recorded them and I reviewed them then, and just rewatching them now, they're so good, so interesting, and um, I think Elle has just got so much experience and has done so much. I really enjoyed the segment where you asked her about sort of advice for people getting into the industry. I thought she had some really great insights there, and what really stood out to me was when she kind of said about if you're trying to get into the industry or going for a job, kind of the I love games. is perhaps not the most standout of features for somebody applying for a job in the games industry. It's almost like that's a given, but what makes you special? And I thought that was really, really relevant and really valid advice. Moo, I love his. It was interesting actually because Mo had raised a discussion in the UK games industry Slack recently, kind of around this idea of being a bit older, and he kind of flagged this and a load of as other oldies, should we say, were kind of like, oh yeah, somebody else feels like this, and so his uh, views on diversity in general really insightful, and he just comes at that from so many different angles. Like I say, there's kind of the POC in play that he's a part of. He was talking about the diversity in ages, but also his career as well. He's done the indie thing, he's done the AAA thing. He has a family and he's supporting that, so being able to add those concerns and considerations to this idea of what is a largely sort of fairly young industry. I thought
Yeah.
that was fantastic, and then Simon Carlos is just I think he gets a mention in pretty much every week or every video that we do. The work that he does with No More Robots and the newsletter, he's just always got so many great insights, and it's nice to hear. I guess it's a pretty new initiative from him to spin up the Game Discoverability Co. Venture that he's doing. So it was nice to hear that. It's also hot off the press, as it were.
Yeah.
Great. A great bunch of insights all around, and everybody should definitely go and watch those videos.
Yes, you should. You can find them all, as I say, on the Etchplay YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/etchplay. You can also follow Rocket Jump directly on Twitter and Facebook. Just type in the little search bar, you'll find it. And yeah, definitely check those out. Are there any kind of parting thoughts you have, Dan, about 2020 and about putting this event together? Like, has this been a good experience? Would you want to do this again, or in 2021, if COVID's gone, you're going to go back to the old format?
It was great for me because I just told you to do it and you did it. But, so yeah, I will throw that around to you. But I think we held off from the last Rocket Jump event we did. We kind of obviously everything went into lockdown and events got put on hold, and then various events have restarted in various digital formats. And what I didn't want to do, it was almost like there was nothing, and then there was a different digital event all the time, and I was reluctant to just recreate or try to recreate the exact same event just in on a Zoom call or something like that, because it's not the same, and you can get that experience elsewhere. Other events are doing that, so we kind of took it as an opportunity to reflect and say, okay, what is something that we can do that is of value, that we can deliver as best we can under these conditions. And I really liked the fact that we gave ourselves the space to record these videos one at a time. We just broadcast them; they weren't live, and now that content is there. It's applicable to a much wider audience, which is great. Obviously, real world events are. There is somewhat a barrier to entry. You need to be able to get to the area. You need to be able to get the time off work, or all these different considerations. And so, yeah, I like the inclusiveness of this. And it kind of, I guess, pushed us out of our comfort zone in terms of capability, tech setup. You did a great job with the interviewing. So, yeah, throwing that back to you. How did you find the experience?
It was good. I think you're right that, it's people, regular watchers of the show will know that this is my setup. This is my living room. This is the world that we operate in 2020, just working out of our houses rather than out of maybe a studio space that would be better suited in some ways for this kind of content. I was very struck when I did with Elle specifically. She's such a professional, and she does voice acting work as well. So she's got the proper mic. She's got the arm for the mic. She's got the little area where she's all soundproofed in. And yeah, in terms of insight, I think you're spot on about the stuff that you raised. I think there's meaningful and in some cases directly actionable things and takeaways you can take from all of those videos, depending on what kind of person you are. I think if you're somebody who's looking to get into the industry, either voice acting or journalism specifically, then Elle's video is a great primer. I think that Moo just brought such a wealth of experience from all different angles to his discussion, which I really valued. And Simon's viewpoints are increasingly relevant. There's a reason that we talk about them all the time. It's because, he's talking about the future of games marketing, and that's where the industry is going. Because gone are the days where you could just launch a game and you'd be the only game that came out on that day, and it would be in an electronics boutique downtown. As a kid, you'd go in, you get Pokemon cards, and you see the game on the shelf and you buy it. Like, we're a world away from that now. So that brave new world needs people like Simon Carless and his insight into techniques and strategies for helping people to discover that your game even exists in the first place. So a lot of fun. They're on the YouTube channel. I've put the link in the Twitch chat. If you're watching live, you can go and check that out after the stream. That brings us to the end for today's show. Thank you to my guests, Dan Thomas, Ben Joy was here earlier, and thanks also to Mobin, the FIFA expert, who showed us FIFA 2021 earlier and thrashed Werder Bremen 4-1. We'll be back next week, same time, usual show, news, all the latest industry insight, and also some gameplay. Bit of fun, isn't it? If you're not following us already and you're watching live on Twitch, now's your chance to do so. I can see Experimental Space has followed us in the last 6 minutes. Thank you, Experimental Space. If anyone else is out there thinking, oh, maybe I should follow you, just do it now. I'll give you a shout out if you do it in the next 10 seconds.
We get a lovely little badge when we get to our next level, so we'd really like that. So
I want the badge.
Please follow and tell your friends to follow.
Just start some sort of multi-level marketing campaign all about how great our stream is. And if you're watching on YouTube, which is also a valid way to watch, you're just, it's the iPlayer way of watching it on catch up. Make sure you follow us on there as well. It's called subscribing on YouTube, but if you subscribe, you can also get notifications. And we will see you next time. I'm Adam Burt. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next Thursday at 4 p.m. It's the weekly live show. See you next time. Bye.
See ya.